Hey folks, it's Theo. Before we jump into this week's podcast, I wanted to take a moment and reach out to thank you all for your continued support of the Batman universe. Now, there are some changes going on at TBU, and we really want you to be a part of it. Whether it's as a site contributor, or a book reviewer, or just an active participant on either our Patreon or our Discord server, there's something for you at the Batman universe. Now, more is going to be coming out. But until then, reach out to us at TBU at thebatmanuniverse.net and let us know what you're interested in. Or you can reach out to me directly on our Discord server. I really look forward to hearing from you guys. But until then, thank you again for your continued support, and I hope you enjoy the show.
This podcast is part of the Batman Universe Podcast Network, hosted by thebatmanuniverse.net. Check out everything related to Batman and the entire Bat family at thebatmanuniverse.net, including news and original content related to comics, movies, television, merchandise, video games, and more. Also, check out some of the other unique podcasts that TBU has to offer. Consider supporting this podcast by becoming a patron on Patreon. Even $1 can go a long way in supporting this content that you enjoy. Look for a link over at thebatmanuniverse.net to offer your support now. And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the Batman Universe Comics Podcast, Season 15, Episode 11. I'm your host, Ian, and I have with me...
This is Dev.
That's so much better than last time. Oh, wow. Hey, welcome back, Steph. We missed you. And this is Theo.
And we're going to review some Batman comics and talk about some news. So let us first do a little bit of life stuff. Have you guys seen Spider-Verse 2 yet?
No, but I want to.
You need to. Have you, Theo?
I have not. So
you need to.
No, I should be punished because usually I see these types of things on the Thursday before they release if I don't get an exclusive screening ahead of time. And I did not. And I don't know if it's because I just had enough burnout from some of the Marvel and DC stuff as of late that I didn't pay attention to know that it was out. But
I feel you there. I was feeling extremely burned out with both Spider-Man and the multiverse, but this movie rejuvenated that. It's like you watch all these sort of mediocre things and you're like, oh, I don't know why I want to watch this. And then you watch something that's actually written well with passion and intelligence, and you're like, oh, that's why I want to watch these things. It's great. Go see it.
Well, and I plan on seeing it in the next week or so. But the thing that gets me is everybody that's fussing over the fact that it's part one and like, why it got to be in two parts? They've said it a long time ago that it was going to be a two-parter. So
That is a good point. Everyone should go into it knowing it's part one.
I didn't know it was part one.
I
want to watch it. I like the franchise. I just haven't. Just the burnout. I want to watch this one in particular, but like I haven't been too eager to learn too much about it. It's just the fact that it exists is enough for me to want to go see it.
Yeah, but the creative team at least a year ago said that it was a two-parter.
Oh, it definitely is. I feel like they should have put that in the title though.
Yeah, because
they're doing that with some of these other movies like Mission Impossible. They're putting in part one. I think that's a good idea. It's frustrating, but I'd rather they be up front than you watch it and find out.
I mean, they didn't do it for the Avengers. So. But you knew because they announced it as
They
such.
should have. Although, to be fair, I still have refused to watch Infinity War out of protest.
You have not watched Infinity War? Why not? What's the
Correct. I
protest?
saw Endgame without seeing Infinity War.
What's the protest?
I don't approve of them making a 3-hour movie prologue.
Oh God!
Oh my gosh.
All right.
That is the most Ian thing I've ever heard Ian say.
It is extremely Ian. All right. So by the time this comes out, many of you may have already seen Flash. Fortunately, I'm the only person in this group who has currently seen Flash, and I will say I thought it was fun. Not as good as Spider-Verse, but very fun.
I've been drafted to see it this weekend. I said that I was just gonna wait out of protest until it got to Max. But I've been recruited, so I have to go and watch it.
I am super curious to know what my co-hosts and other TBU people are going to think about it. So,
I mean, from everything I've read, most folks have said it's good, but
yeah, I'd say it's good.
Most folks will say something that's good, and then you go in there and it's like, what is this? Because I had enough people who say Batman vs. Superman was pretty good, and then I go see it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? So
see, I had the opposite. I went in with really low expectations for Batman v Superman, and I was like, oh well, okay, it wasn't that bad.
it was that bad.
I mean, I like Batman vs. Superman, but I would never say it's good.
Oh.
It's a very messy movie.
It was very dumb.
I'm so glad we aren't a movie podcast because I wouldn't have a lot of nice things to say.
I would not have a lot of nice things to say about Batman vs. Superman nor Justice League, whether it's the Whedon cut or the Snyder cut. They can go both kick rocks.
I just think that movie podcasts, they get so much... There's so many more, like, people in movie fandom that it gets really hostile, especially if it's like a really popular or unpopular movie.
It can be toxic, really.
And I'm not into that.
Let's complain about comics now.
Well, speaking of complaining about comics, let's talk about the news.
Oh no, yeah.
First news is, so next month, July and August, we're having the Night Terrors event, and it's going to be similar to Convergence, where every series has a 2-part mini arc that theoretically is connected to the current arcs, but it's really connected to this overall crossover. After that, in September, so in the months of September and October, the titles of Batman and Catwoman, written by Chip Zdarsky and Tini Howard, are going to have a crossover called Gotham War. And there's going to be basically an Alpha and an Omega issue, but they're going to be called Battle Line and Battle Scars or something, I don't remember. And there's going to be a Red Hood tie-in 2-issue miniseries. There is not, as of yet, a Gotham War Zone spin-off thing. I kind of am crossing my fingers for that because I like people doing things with Gotham War Zone. Because we had Joker War Zone, and we had Shadow War Zone, and we should have had Flash 1 Minute War Zone, but Jeremy Adams forgot to call it that. And there was Dark Crisis War Zone. So, Warzone is kind of DC's thing, and I want them to do it some more because I think it's hilarious. All right. We will, of course, talk more about this because today's issue of Batman, number 136, is a setup for Gotham War. But before we talk about that, what are my co-host reactions to this news that Batman and Catwoman are going to war over the soul of Gotham?
I'm angry. They keep having excuses for the Bat family to be against each other. We just got over Batman versus Robin, which was a waste of paper and pixels and brain cells. Like, and it wasn't even Robin's fault. He was like controlled by a demon the whole time, which is just extra.
Which is the biggest cop-out ever.
Oh my gosh. So this, I just don't like that they're pitting them against each other. I mean,
I mean, but here's the thing: if you read frickin' Teenie Howard's Catwoman series, she is on a collision course with Batman. Like the way Teenie Howard writes Catwoman,
for no reason.
it is for no reason, but it's there. Catwoman's acting like a moron.
So dumb. I can't. No, I'm not excited. And
Steph cannot even.
I can't even. I have ceased to can. I just. I don't. Yeah. I have nothing nice to say, so I'm just not going to say much. So, yeah, I'm just going to wait till the end when they make up, which is going to happen. They're going to make up at the end. And if they don't, I may never read Catwoman or Teenie Howard. I will never touch Teenie Howard Catwoman ever again.
I look forward to Steph having to censor herself on the podcast.
What the kitty cat was that?
Nice.
I was once told that if you can't say anything nice about anything, don't say anything at all. So I am trying to remain quiet. Do not bring it out of me, Stephanie Mount.
No,
don't bring it out.
No pressure here.
Yeah, no pressure, none whatsoever. And I am trying to be diplomatic considering the new environment I am living in. So I'm not going to say how much I hate the idea of Bruce and his one true love having to go at each other's throat again. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, if this had been Abernathy decision, is this a Marie Javins? Who do I need to talk to?
This is a Chip Zdarsky and Teenie Howard decision.
Oh, God. And I had so much.
And the reason I know this is because I've been subscribed to Chip Zdarsky's Substack since he started writing Batman. And he said so in September of 2021, I think.
So, if Chip is that directly involved, there's hope that it's not completely devoid of intelligence.
Correct.
But it's just really going to be, I don't want to say balanced.
It is not going to be balanced. It is not. Now, if he was writing Catwoman as well, yeah, but he's not.
Yeah.
So he could do
sunk. That's the word I'm looking for.
It could be an absolutely absolutely wonderful job in the pages of Batman, and then you switch over and you go and read Catwoman, and it's just
garbage.
Yes. But I'm being diplomatic.
So here's the thing. I was thinking if you had like James Tynion and Ram V writing Batman and Catwoman, and they had a Batman Catwoman crossover event, I would be excited because James Tynion and Ram V are good writers. But the thing is,
and they wrote good
Bruce and Selina.
Oh,
but here's the thing: someone who's writing a good Selina would not put her in the position of having to fight Bruce. Like, that's the point of writing a good Selina. So the fact that we're getting this means we're writing bad Selina.
See, the story we should get is like the story we got in Ram V's Catwoman, where she falls into the water, she's drowning, and who's there to save her? You know, who's on the cover with her?
It's clearly Valmont, the coolest, hottest new love interest ever. Oh my goodness. That's so stupid.
I mean, so we're gonna end Night Terrors, which I have very little interest in. And for those who don't know what Convergence is, just think of Future State. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's very similar.
But I just one event after the other. I'm all event out. I just want a decent story, not like Detective. Detective is chore, but just give us a good decent story without love interests going at each other's throat, dad and son trying to kill each other, family getting set on fire. I don't.
Spoilers.
I want to see Batman knock the hell out of Joker and Bane and Two-Face. Well, not Two-Face, I like Harvey. But I just...
Well, I mean, remember that we're only 1 year into Chip Zdarsky's run, and he has a 2 to 3 year plan. So
James
he
Tynion
has to,
James Tynion had a 2 to 3 year plan too. So just to be fair,
and he got 2 years into it. But you have to bring Batman low to bring him up again, and I think that's what I think. Chip Zdarsky is throwing lots of struggles at Batman, and I think that's good. It just can be rough until you start getting on the upswing. And I would say that the upswing is probably not for another year.
and there hasn't been much of that, and that's a big risk to lose a lot of people.
It is a big risk.
If to constantly do the same thing over and over.
I mean, that's what Tom King did. That's the thing is Tom King went really low for a year, and he lost a lot of readers. I say this as a big fan of Tom King's Batman run. It was difficult, and so I hope Zdarsky can figure out how to keep people engaged. I mean, I am definitely engaged, and I think when we get to today's issue, there will be a lot of really good discussion because I think it's a very worthwhile issue. But it's risky. Pulling off a long story is risky because you basically stretch out the middle act really far, and that can really alienate readers. All right. Last questions about this event. Are you excited about Matthew Rosenberg doing another Red Hood story as part of a tie-in?
He's the one that did the cheer.
No, that's Zdarsky.
That was Zdarsky.
Rosenberg is the one who did the Wildcats, and he's also doing the Joker, Man Who Stopped Laughing, and he did Task Force Z.
Oh. I have a problem with the few stories of his I've read with the ending. Like, I feel like he has good setups and good characters and fun things. Like, 2 of the 3 of those were fun, were engaging, were an interesting setup, and then it didn't know where to go, and it just ended in complete chaos.
I think that is quite fair. I do think he tends to have weak endings. But this is just a 2-issue miniseries.
So yeah, that might be fun.
I find it quite concerning that the best Red Hood that I've read in a long time is still Scott Lobdell. Now, that's not
fair. That Rebirth Red Hood run was really good.
It really was, but that still says a lot. Now, I'm not counting what's going on in Webtoons because at least that's good, and him and Artemis are a thing, but in the pages of the comics, it's quite concerning. That for some reason, again, I read a few issues of Task Force Z, was not crazy about it. It's concerning that Jason is kind of getting his own Tim treatment, probably worse.
It's weird. I mean, I don't think that Rosenberg's anywhere close to Fitzmartin's level of just character destruction.
No.
But he is just a messy writer.
But you'll take him over Cytheria.
And it's really weird that basically Rosenberg has written a Jason story for the past 3 years, but it's in 4 different titles. Because he did the detective backups that led into Task Force Z, and then he did Task Force Z, and now he's doing the Joker book, which is very much a Jason story. And then we also, and then also he's doing this Gotham War Red Hood miniseries. So it's just weird the way they're treating Jason. I mean, I'm happy for Jason fans because it means they have consistent stories, and that's always fun for someone whose favorite character is, Red Hood. But I don't know why they don't feel like Red Hood can sell the stories, because I feel like you could put all this into a Red Hood ongoing, and it would be fine.
I'd be more inclined to pick it up. I didn't even know he was in Joker because I'm so determined not to read that book. Yep. I had no idea.
Well, you put Steph in a book, and I have to read it. Oh, here's a bit of news that I think I will be happy and cheerful, even though it has nothing to do with comics. Gotham Knights, the TV show, has been canceled.
Oh
Rejoice.
no.
Anyway,
And there was much rejoicing.
There was much rejoicing on the server.
now I
Misha.
will say I feel sad for the actors and the creators who worked hard on it and all that stuff. But honestly, it was a terrible show. And I'm glad to see it go.
Yeah, I have no sympathy because they put that mess together, so they have no
Hey,
one.
the actors just go where they're told.
Correct. All right. Last piece of news, and this one will be interesting. Kelly Thompson, who just entered her Marvel exclusive, has come over to DC as a freelancer, so she's not DC exclusive. And she is writing a new Birds of Prey title. And over the last week, she revealed the 5 members of the team for the first arc. So there will be some reshuffling after the first arc. But for the first arc, the characters are Black Canary as the leader, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, Big Barda, Zealot from the Wildcats, and Harley Quinn. Discuss.
I love Big Barda.
Yeah,
Who else was
me
it?
too.
I'm because the list you gave was not this picture. Who else was it? Oh, I see it. Cassandra Cain, Big Barda, Zealot.
Harley.
Oh,
And
and Dinah.
And then Dinah as the leader. Yes.
Oh, well, they're obviously going from the movie a little bit, right? Because it's Cassandra and Harley, which doesn't make any sense.
It is nothing like the movie.
Well, it's got 3
I
of the
really
4.
hope it's nothing like the movie. The movie was dreadful.
Yeah. I'm just saying they're appealing possibly to the movie crowd. I don't like that Harley's on it.
Who does?
People who like Harley.
So I'll repeat that
That's
question.
not even true. There's a lot of Harley fans who think that she's being overexposed.
That's good.
But obviously Kelly Thompson is very excited. And the thing is, I knew she was going to put Harley on the team because on Monday, when she first put out the announcement, she argued with someone for 2 hours about why Harley Quinn is a good character on the team. And I was like, well, of course. Okay, so Harley's on the team.
At least she's thought about it. It wasn't just Harley sells. So my question, because with Batgirl's ending, Barbara's got a steady gig. What is Steph going to be up to?
Well, this is a question that is near and dear to my heart, and
Tim, actually. Tim's book is getting the axe too.
I think that Tim needs to take a rest for like 6 months and then come back in a strong way. And that strong way needs to not involve Megan Fitzpatrick at all.
Amen.
I am extremely concerned about where Steph is going to end up, and I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
Tim will decide he doesn't want to put Bernard in harm's way anymore and go back to being with Steph.
Yeah, I think that's not for another couple years.
So I was on cloud 9 high when the news broke of Cass being on the team. So, Theo, favorite Batgirl, Cassandra Cain. Yes. And I was okay with Big Barda, considering she had a history with the team as well. And then comes out Zealot, and I'm like, what the hell? And at this point, Ian and I are going back and forth like, okay, who's going to be? Because at one point he was like, well, it's going to be Red Canary. And then it comes out and that is Harley. And I'm just like, and he's just like, but I knew it. And I kind of knew it too, but I can't get with Harley.
I want to go on record by saying, just because I was right does not mean I'm happy about this. Harley being on the team takes my interest to this title to a 0.
It's way down because of Harley. I just consider it oversaturation, overuse.
She does not belong on the Birds of Prey.
I just don't.
She belongs
like
on the
her.
Sirens. If you want to write a team book with Harley, put her on the frickin' Sirens.
Yeah. and have Gillian March draw it again. So
No. Too much glossy butt and boobies.
I mean, we could go watch what he did in the Poison Ivy title.
So no,
He only had 3 pages, and it's still like, whoop, I know who drew this.
I mean, but it was a week of highs and lows when it came to Birds of Prey, and it's. Am I hopeful considering that there's going to be some reshuffling? No, because I just can't see them allowing her to dump Harley, even though she is in how many books? At least 2.
She's in a lot of. No. She's
3.
She's in Harley Quinn. She's in the Multiverse Harley Quinn.
Yep.
She's in Dark Knights of Steel. She's in Poison Ivy.
Yep.
She's in
Batman sometimes.
Has she been in Batman since Zdarsky took over, though?
Not since Chip.
That's true.
She was in Catwoman several times. She's been in trying to run through what's going on. But that's just 5 books I just named.
And I know they keep saying Harley sells, but does she really?
Not currently.
Yeah,
Sales for Harley have actually been pretty weak. I think because of overexposure and putting really bad creative teams on her.
Yeah. I mean, and I know DC doesn't always release numbers, especially since they've left Diamond. Yeah, thank you.
There's still sales trackers, and they're not great, and they're still estimates, but the indications are that Harley Quinn was actually, I believe, selling worse than Batgirls, which is pretty significant.
But don't tell DC execs that.
Harley Quinn got freaking 30th anniversary covers on Batgirls in the year that Stephanie Brown also turned 30, and Stephanie Brown did not get a 30th anniversary cover. Not even in her own title. Am I still salty? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm extremely salty about this. And when I say I think that DC's giving her crappy creative teams, that does not mean I dislike Stephanie Phillips. I think it was Stephanie Phillips and Sam Humphries did a good job on the Harley title. I'm talking about Teenie Howard and Frank Thierry and all the other people who have been on Harley.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed Harley until Teenie Howard took over.
Right. No, for the what was it called? Infinite Frontier. Infinite Frontier Harley was pretty solid, but sadly, Dawn of DC Harley is Teenie Howard and is not good.
Anyway,
all right. So Birds of Prey.
They really need to. DC need to really learn to check in with at least Ian and I before they decide.
We're here. We're making our opinions available to them.
give these projects, especially the Teenie Howard, because we could have just drew issues of Excalibur at them and was like, "Do you really want that? Forget the fact that she gets stuff in on time. Do you really want this type of storytelling on your books? Let me tell you, as a reader, I will not buy this." And I
fundamentally, Teenie Howard should go write Female Furies Volume 2, and then we don't have to worry about her. For those who don't remember, Female Furies Volume 1 was written by Cecil Castellucci, writer of the worst Batgirl run of all time.
And keep her away from Rogue and Gambit.
Yes. Oh man, that reminds me, I need to check out Rogue and Gambit this week because the new issue comes out.
Yes, it does. I need somebody to beat up Destiny for me, but she'll probably
yes, she's the worst.
She'll probably see
this
it
isn't a Marvel cast.
Hush, hush.
Hey,
woman.
Dustin's not on the cast anymore.
Hush, woman. Leave us alone. We have grievances.
All right. Well, that's the news. I personally think that both Gotham War and Birds of Prey could lead to some fun stories. I'm very concerned, but we shall see. We shall see.
You have much higher hope than I.
I don't know. Dawn of DC is mostly doing it for me. I'm feeling pretty good.
I am just waiting to see more of Luke and Vixen. Yes.
We still don't have that announced. I mean, the thing is, we don't really have anything for September really announced except for Birds of Prey and Gotham War. And Solicits, I think, will come out. It might come out the end of this week, actually. So there might still be like 2 or 3 announcements for September.
I need an announcement of them doing JLA again with Vixen leading and her new boo, Luke Fox.
That sounds really exciting. I really hope that's happening. Oh, man. If that doesn't happen, it turns out it's just something crappy. I'm going to be so disappointed, Theo. And I'm going to blame you for putting it in my head.
Did you not see the story? Was that story not... Was it not
I did,
interesting?
but DC does all sorts of stupid stuff.
You are not wrong.
All right. Well, let's get on to our reviews. We just have our one review for Batman number 136 today. Batman number 136, Dusk to Dawn, written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Balin Ortega, colors by Tomu More. In the Batacombs, Mr. Terrific runs a recently returned Batman through some tests. Everything seems fine, though Batman still has some residual multiversal energy from his bouncing between dimensions in pursuit of Red Mask, aka Darwin Holiday, aka the Joker. Mr. Terrific asks Batman how he's feeling, and Batman says that he is fine, noting that everyone is worried about him. After the tests, Batman suits up, putting a glove over his black hand that was reforged in the multiverse. Tim Drake, Robin, calls to check in, and Batman asks what's been going on. Tim fills Batman in on Penguin's 2 children running the Iceberg Lounge. In Bruce Wayne's brownstone, Batman meditates. He confronts Zur-En-Arrh, reflecting on the mistakes of his youth. Zur-En-Arrh and Bruce argue, with Zur noting that Bruce hasn't destroyed him, possibly because Bruce needs him for what's coming. Another call comes in. Batman visits the Orgum Hotel, which is the name of the family that's up to so much trouble in Detective Comics. Addison and Aiden Cobblepot have set up smaller growlers for high rollers to gamble. Batman drops down and busts up the game. Though he initially underestimates Aiden Cobblepot, Batman gets the upper hand and shows the twins what he's capable of. Later he fills in Oracle, who tells Batman that Catwoman recently escaped from prison after her murder of Valmont. Batman tracks down Selina, who is using another identity to sneak around Gotham. He asks her why she refused his help to get her out of prison. Selina had her own methods, noting that by breaking out, she can live as a ghost for a while, just like Oswald Cobblepot, which reveals to Batman that Oswald faked his own death, which triggered Failsafe. Batman feels betrayed at Selina's secret, and when she calls him out by saying he was in space, he tells her that he met another Selina in another universe, and says he loved that Selina too, but she betrayed him. Before they can finish their conversation, Batman gets an alert of a break-in at Wayne Manor. Though he lives in the brownstone now, Wayne Manor is his home. Once in the Batcave, he notes that the commotion is coming from upstairs. When he heads up, he sees Nightwing, Stephanie Brown, Jason, Damian, Cassandra, Duke, Barbara, and Tim all making a breakfast feast. The whole Bat family sits down to a meal, and though Bruce finds it nice, he can't help but feel the doubt and anxiety within him. By releasing Zur-En-Arrh, he started what feels like the end to everything, and he won't be able to save the Bat family. The issue closes, with Bruce hallucinating or envisioning his entire family going up in flames. We're back to Gotham!
Yay!
How does it feel to be back in Gotham? How does this issue feel to you?
This was a good speed. This is a good transition issue. It's like it's acknowledging what happened we're actually emotionally working through some of the last few things. Zurinar, failsafe, Cobblepot, all that stuff that's been happening. Because it has been feeling like we're going from thing to thing to thing to thing. And it's nice to stop, breathe, take stock of our present circumstances. And we're also seeing that the main turmoil, conflict is all internal to Bruce, which is very interesting and definitely more intriguing than just like, oh, it's a baddie of the week. Let's go fight him.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty good issue. I don't, I don't, I don't know if I want to go as far as saying it's a breather of an issue, because you see Bruce still having issues, and he's obviously is still down on himself, considering he doesn't want the family to know about his hand.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a very good issue. If this issue was by itself, my overall score would be way higher than what it is now. And that's not to say that the backup was bad, but I mean, there were the way this story comes about, and the idea of that he knew where to find Selena. He found Selena, as a character of just being where she always will be, and leopard never changes his stripes, so he knew where to find her, and then the feeling of being betrayed because she didn't tell him about Oswald. So there's always something going on that keeps Bruce Wayne from being a happy person, and I don't understand why he can't be happy, even when he's sitting at the table with all of the people that he loves. He can't be happy because he's watching them burn in front of him. It's okay for Bruce to be happy. He can be Batman and still be happy. If you don't believe me, go read Wayne Family Values. Or Wayne Family Adventures.
That would be a great show.
He's happy there, and he's still Batman, and he's with Selena, and everybody's not killing each other, and they're not fighting against each other, and it's a Gotham City that I wouldn't mind living in.
And a million people a week read it.
I don't know. But it was still a very good issue.
I agree. It was so, I don't know. I just felt like a breath of fresh air being back in Gotham with Batman doing Batman things. Him testing out the Cobblepot twins and just trying to feel his way back into the Bat family and getting back to the manor. I'm going to have more specific questions about that specifically, but there's so many really interesting things, and I really like how Zdarsky's centering a lot of the conflict on the Zur-En-Arrh Batman and Batman's choices in his youth. I'm very excited to see how that plays out. Do you guys remember back before Shadows of the Bat, when Mariko Tamaki did that one issue with Dan Mora, where she basically introduces all the villains that are going to go into Arkham Tower and has Batman leave, and so it's just all the characters sort of shuffling around. But it was still just a really good issue.
I don't remember that one.
It's the one where Batman flips the car, the red sports car.
When our favorite person from Once and Future,
yes,
makes her appearance.
Yep.
Yes, I do remember that issue. Because
this feels a lot like that, just in terms of transitional, but still a fun issue by itself.
Yeah, I'm still having trouble remembering, but my memory is crap. I wouldn't put any stake on that. Yeah, it's a very character-centric transitional issue. And yeah, I agree with Theo in that it's not a joyride. Like, this isn't therapy breathing, but we're not running from action to action to action. We're not in the sewers. We're at home. We're finding our legs. We're figuring out what's normal and realizing we have a lot more baggage than maybe we first realized. And I think Selena 100% calls him out on his bullcrap, and says you're a walking secret. We're nothing but secrets. Like, and I don't think that holding back that Oswald was like, I think if she had known how much that affected him, of course she would have told him. Like, it wasn't like she was holding back to be mean or anything. It just might have not come up, or Oswald's basically in witness protection. Why would you tell Batman about someone in the I don't know. In the Batman protection.
I blame Valmont.
You mean Teenie Howard?
Her too.
So, let's talk about the art, and specifically one part of the art. So Balin Ortega is perhaps best known for a story which is, I would definitely say, not my favorite. And I think Theo also was not a fan, which is the Tim Drake Urban Legends story and Pride special, in which Tim Drake ghosts Stephanie Brown and ignores her for a year, and then she treats it like it's okay.
Different take on that story.
It happened in that story.
No, it totally did. Yeah, that's how it happened.
So, I really like her art. I think she has a really appealing style. I think she does good layouts. She doesn't do a ton of action in these issues that we're talking about, but it's decent action. The fight with Aiden Cobblepot is pretty exciting. But on Twitter, she shared both the line art and the finished art without word dialogue, word balloons of the Bat family cooking pancakes in Wayne Manor. And she said she worked on that for 3 days. So that's just one page. Most artists shoot for about a page a day because that's how much you get paid enough to do a page a day, basically. But Ortega posted that, and so many Bat fans just went nuts over this. And I think rightly so. Well, that poor story gives away. My question is, how do you feel about the Bat family cooking pancakes together scene?
That was so cute. Like, I love the chaos. And the word bubbles actually add a lot to it. Like, you figure out what Damien's whining about, and riffing on the Tim Drake sleeping joke. If he has the chocolate, he's not gonna sleep. I thought it was delightful. Cass is just drinking her coffee or whatever it is she's drinking, trying to ignore everybody, just enjoying the food. It's just a lovely moment. And then trying to have crap, what's his name? The Signal.
Duke.
I don't know. I had total brain fart there. Yeah, having him be there, like Wayne Family Adventures. It's just lovely. It's a ray of sunshine, and I think it's that picture in conjunction or whatever juxtaposed to the fire picture. I mean, that's kind of a good depiction of what it is like to have anxiety and depression. It's like you are surrounded by love, by acceptance, and you feel scared. You feel whatever Bruce is feeling, like anxious. He can't be still. He's panicking. He's thinking about how everyone's in trouble because of him. It's like that's a perfect depiction of just what he must be feeling right now. So I thought it was all good, and a great way to use the art to depict someone's emotional state.
So first things first, I would gladly donate to Balin Ortega for the work that she did with this one splash page. It is absolutely beautiful. But it also pisses me off because the one thing that, again, just draws me to it is this picture, and it's Tim and Steph and their interaction, and it makes me feel worse seeing it without the word bubble, so you don't know the context. But just knowing what was, what could have been, what should be, and what's not happening just really chaps my hide. And this is someone who is not the huge Steph fan, who's an even lesser Tim Drake fan, and I still get these thoughts when I see stuff such as this. But it's such a beautiful picture, but it also just ticks me off. But Balin, you open up a GoFundMe, I am gladly donating to it because artists need to get paid more anyway.
I agree completely. I think that this piece is fantastic, and when it hit social media, it hit Tumblr and Twitter, and Instagram. People just went nuts. They were reposting it, retweeting it, drawing fan art of it, and I think that this really shows. This and Wayne Family Adventures show that there is a hunger for well done Bat Family content, not just Bat Family content where you have them in the same comic and they're bickering or fighting.
Although I do have an issue with those who have an issue with Duke being in the picture. Like, why is he in there? Is he even on duty now? There were actually folks who were complaining about Duke being in the picture, but God bless
I
him.
have my issues with Mr. Duke, and I think that Mr. Duke needs a better story. But I think Mr. Duke is a decent character.
Well, Duke was having a pretty damn decent run with Brandon Thomas until DC just got amnesia about him, but that's a different story.
I think we need to email Marie Javins a bunch of audio files of Theo with excellent backing music telling her that we need that Outsiders story by Brandon Thomas again.
I am game, man.
I love the fact that Ortega posted that she took 3 days to do this because she knew this would be important. And I think that the reaction both of me just seeing this, when I saw it, I was like, this is great. This is the Bat Family interacting. They're not fighting. They're in character. They look amazing. As I said, I like Balin Ortega's art a lot. She's not a Jorge Jimenez, but she's a really good one. And I'd love to see her get a regular gig on a title that's good. AKA not Tim Drake Robin.
That picture is worthy of becoming a poster on my wall.
Yes. So I would say the art of this issue is overall really good, but that one page really stands out for a good reason. And I'm pleased to know that the art team knew that it should stand out, and it was great. Last question. So we know that Batman and Catwoman are going to go to war. Do you think this gets us to a place where we can see that happening in a believable way?
I like the trust thing. I think the way Zdarsky's written this makes a little more sense. He is distraught over Cobblepot and then realizing she held that from him. Yes, not on purpose, not vindictively, I don't know. Just maybe villain, what's the word? Solidarity?
Bro code.
But obviously, I mean, the first thing she says when she realizes how much has hurt him, I didn't realize how much this had hurt you. Obviously, I would have told you if I had known how much this bothered you. And the fact that he's being so hypocritical, I don't keep secrets. There can't be real secrets in this relationship. And she just calls him out on it. She's like, this is bullcrap. We're walking secrets. Like, so relationally, from the ways that Zdarsky's writing their conflict, I don't know if a war makes sense, but a conflict makes sense. Marriage counseling, perhaps. Therapy, couples therapy. That's what they need. They don't need. Oh, maybe that's if the Gotham War is just the way Bruce and Selena do couples therapy. I'm all on board.
Oh, God, no. Depends on what.
But the fact that it's like even in Catwoman, Bruce is like, they've done studies. You're not responsible for Valmont's death. He died in the explosion. And then the fact that here he's saying, you killed him to defend me or whatever. So, that's still, the whole Valmont thing bothers me. Not Valmont himself. You could have done something fun with Valmont.
But
everything that happened because of him is just garbage.
They did not do something fun with Valmont.
They gave her a glittery kitty, which, I mean, is fine.
I would be more interested if they were going to couples therapy with Harley as the counselor.
That would be hilarious.
The just the idea that they have to go to war, it just doesn't make any type of sense unless at the end of it all, two folks are saying I do, and I know that's not gonna happen. So again, it makes no sense. Just have them sit on the couch with Harley and call it a day. As long as as long
Given
as
that Teenie Howard had Harley like lusting after Harley last time they interacted, I'm not sure that would be a good idea.
That's what I was getting ready to say. As long as Harley doesn't start spilling beans about her and Ivy, and then all of the lustful things she said about coming on to Selena, as long as that doesn't happen, and she just goes straight psychoanalysis instead of psychoanalysis, then it'll be a good story. But
I don't think Harley's a licensed couples therapist.
that's all right. She can write scripts. She can do anything.
All right, let's move on to our backup.
What do you think? You didn't answer.
He did not.
I think?
He did not.
Yeah. I think Zdarsky's doing his best. I think he's brought Batman to the first plateau of lowness. He's gone through a brutal year, first failsafe, and then being stuck in this alternate dimension, and it's going to go down from here.
Zur-En-Arrh then fell safe then.
Right. Well, Zur-En-Arrh's been sort of a constant in both. So, speaking of Zur-En-Arrh, in the backup called The Plan Below, written by Chip Zdarsky and art by Jorge Corona, Alfred Pennyworth years ago greets Bruce Wayne, who is brooding over a case involving the Riddler. When Alfred leaves, the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh takes over, heading down to the lab below the Batcave to test out his prototype failsafe. Zur-En-Arrh runs through failsafe's directives, and the two spar, with the fight ending with Zur winning. Once the sparring is over, Zur-En-Arrh heads to the Batcomputer, chides Bruce for taking a 2x4 to the chest in the previous night to disguise the injuries taken when fighting failsafe. As Bruce wakes up from Zur-En-Arrh's consciousness, he makes the connection between Riddler and Calendar Man. The mystery will continue. So, the backups concerning Zur-En-Arrh continue, and like the main story, this is kind of a transitional piece, I think, sort of filling in the edges. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's going to set up anything in the media, but we know that Zur-En-Arrh is an ongoing thread in the tapestry Zdarsky's weaving. How did you feel about this sort of transitional piece?
Well, I forgot to read it. I guess it gives you a better idea of how Zur-En-Arrh existed before. I don't know what really to say about it. The art was weird. He has big ears.
Big ear Batman.
Big ear Batman. Are we supposed to get the idea that he's definitely more brutal and completely separate from Bruce?
Yeah, I definitely get like a sort of a two-face split personality thing going on.
Because, I mean, again, forgot to read, but the connection Bruce makes almost has nothing to do with what was happening, right?
Well, so you kind of go into where I was thinking, and Ian probably knows this answer more since he's the RIP fan.
So weird that I have this reputation, because I actually really don't like RIP.
But I don't remember Zur-En-Arrh having this level of control with Bruce. From everything that I remember, Zur-En-Arrh comes to be at Bruce's request. And of course, there's a challenge of getting him back into the cage. But I don't remember him having this level of control to where Bruce is in the middle of a case and all of a sudden, let's go down to the secret cave. And then coming right back up and then he's gone. And Bruce is just oblivious to the fact that he just spent half hour, what have you, fighting a robot that he secretly created. So I don't remember that. But it's also a good idea just to see exactly that maybe Zora-Nar has been more in control of Bruce than Bruce expects.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the problem with Zora-Nar. Grant Morrison created Zora-Nar as a specific plot point in the RIP storyline and never gave a plausible either backstory or fleshing out of the mechanics of how Zora-Nar works. Nor did Grant Morrison ever actually make Zora-Nar mean anything. Zora-Nar was actually just a Golden Age reference. And Grant Morrison thought that was funny or cool. And this brings me to one of the things that I'm sure all our long-term fans know. Ian is not a fan of Grant Morrison. Ian is not a fan of Grant Morrison's Batman. He is not a fan of Grant Morrison writing almost anything, including All-Star Superman. So, I appreciate when someone takes what I would consider a sloppy story decision, and instead of just saying, oh, that never happened, and retconning it, they actually think through the implications of that sloppy storytelling and make it into a character beat that enriches the character. An example of this would be Gail Simone in Birds of Prey. Jim Lee took Huntress, who had been shot in the abdomen 3 times by the Joker, and gave her a belly window, where we should see a bunch of bullet scars. Of course, we don't, because Jim Lee was drawing hot women, not super damaged, scarred women. Gail Simone had Huntress tell Dinah, Black Canary, the reason she has the new costume is because she does 700 sit-ups a day. And that's just a throwaway line that still really makes the whole thing make so much more sense in universe. So you don't just have to think, oh, well, Jim Lee was feeling a little horny, and so he drew Huntress with a belly window. No, you could say Huntress went into a severe self-improvement exercise regime, and now she wants to kind of show that off because she's feeling good about herself. Like, that's the kind of retcon I really appreciate, because it doesn't get rid of the past, it enhances the past and makes it make more sense. And I think that's what Zdarsky's doing with Zora-Nar and RIP. Because if you created a backup personality, it wouldn't be this neat and tidy thing you could just pull out of your head. It would be messy and dangerous.
I do think that the night showed us that Zdarsky is really good at writing backstory and like retconning just enough to make lore fit. And I really like that. The art was weird.
The art, for those who aren't paying attention, is by Jorge Corona, who was the artist for Batgirls for the first 6 issues and did all the covers for Batgirls. And as we know, Ian thinks Jorge Corona is awesome, and Steph and Theo don't like him.
Well, no. I wouldn't have known that.
Yes, but I'm not surprised at your reaction.
I knew it because I read the byline.
Legit had me confused. The action in this one, I mean, it's not as confusing. I'm just not a super fan of his Kelly Jones ear impersonation.
I feel like Jorge Corona, like I feel about Riley Rosmo. The art works in certain things. Like, it almost fits here, considering psycho, crazy, hallucinogenic, what have you, Zora-Nar. But I would not want Jorge Corona on the main book.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. So that brings us to the end of our Batman issue. Let's give it a rating out of 5 chocolate chip pancakes.
You're not excited, are you?
I'm extremely excited.
I loved Selena's reaction to the conversation. I thought she was spot on. She was contrite where it fit. It made sense. She cared. She's, again, calling him out on his hypocrisy. The family was delightful. The art was fantastic. From what I read of the Zora-Nar stuff, I love the background we're getting on Zora-Nar. I don't know. Can I say 4?
Maybe you can say whatever you want.
I think this is the happiest I've been to read a Bat book in a long time. And that's not knocking the rest of Zdarsky's run. I was done with the multiverse. And I'm just so happy that we're back. And it was a good homecoming. And it's setting up. I'm excited to see what's coming based on the tension and the conflict presented in this book. 4 out of 5.
If not for the backup, this is probably a 4 to 5 easy. But I am going to go, and that's not to say the backup story was terrible, bad, what have you. It wasn't. It was a good stopgap, a good intro again into who and what and how Zora-Nar is. I am going to do a 3.75.
I thought this issue was really good, and I gave it a 3.5.
Oh my.
What did Scott give it?
And Scott gave it a 3.
Oh my.
What
It just kept going down.
What are we drinking, Steph?
Huh?
What are we drinking?
I don't know. Happy juice, apparently.
I'm happy. To me, a 4 means I have to like lift this issue up and be like, this is an issue that I'm going to like talk about in years. This is an issue that I'm going to put in my heart as part of what, the core Batman story. Like,
See,
4
that's
is
a 5
really
for
high
me.
to me.
Yeah.
I don't give 5s. I don't think I've given a 5 that I can remember.
I've already given my qualification for a 5.
I'm trying to remember if I wasn't on the cast, but if I ever gave a 5. Was it Rooftops, maybe?
That would get a 5.
Yeah. Maybe Rooftops, maybe the proposal issue.
Not what led up to the proposal.
Not what led up, no. But
Oh, Lord of mercy.
but Rooftops was probably it.
Yeah, I don't think I've given a 5. And that doesn't mean I don't love stories, but 5 to me I feel like 5 means this is actually my very favorite series of all time. And okay, so Batman Year 1, those are my 5s. Those 4 issues are 5s. And that's pretty much it.
That and Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns is really excellent, but I don't enjoy it. Oh, I can't give it a 5. That's not saying it's bad at all. I think it's very good. I don't have fun reading it.
No, it's like Schindler's List. Schindler's List is an amazing movie. No one watches that to have a good time.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. So that gives us an average of 3.56 and no mode. Very sad.
Technically, it's like a full house.
Yeah, it goes 4, 375, 353. It's like this nice descending staircase. So that does give me pleasure, but there's no mathematical fallout from it.
God, did you?
Whether you are a first-time TBU Comics podcast listener, a 13-year veteran, or anything in between, we'd love to hear what you think about this episode or any of the comics we discussed. Send emails to tbu@thebatmanuniverse.net. Join our Discord server linked at thebatmanuniverse.net. Send us a tweet at TBU_comics. Or, if you're a patron, leave us a comment on our Patreon page. We'd also love it if you left us a review on iTunes. We'd love to read your comments on the next episode of the Batman Universe Comics Podcast. Batman may claim he works alone, but we know that he needs the Bat Family. Join the TBU Bat Family and let us know what you think.
All right, let's get to Greater Gotham. So, thankfully, DC has had mercy upon us and has decreased the number of Bat books that we have to cover by publishing lots of non-Bat books. So, people who complain about how Batman is the only thing DC published can shut up, because there's plenty of books. There's Steelworks. There's so many Superman books. There's Power Girl. There's Fire and Ice. There's so many books you can read. Hawk Girl. Stop complaining about Batman.
Wait, are they out already? Hold up.
No, those are coming in September.
That's what I thought.
The one shot that sort of launches the series came out this month, which I actually ended up getting because I actually really liked it.
Wait, which one? One shot. Dawn of DC.
The Power Girl one sheet.
Oh, the Power Girl special. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that sets
And
up
it had
everything.
the Fire and Ice backup.
Well, I didn't read that one. I mean,
You
I kind of
should. It's quite good.
I kind of stopped at the Art Germ cover because Art Germ and Power Girl, and I just enjoy listening to all the folks complain about him going throwback and doing throwback Power Girl instead of current today Power Girl. But
I actually got it for the Fire and Ice, and so I got the cover with Fire and Ice by David Nakayama.
he's so good. He's so good.
Yeah, he's really good too. So,
Greater
Let's-
Gotham.
Greater Gotham, Dark Knights of Steel, number 11. Thumbs up, thumbs down, or neutral? Or abstain?
It was so good.
Got 2 thumbs. Two. Steph, you got to do 2, not just 1.
2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs and 2 toes.
I got 2 thumbs up too, Steph. Ain't that wonderful?
So good. Y'all
So,
should read it.
I tried reading this, but
don't-
I have not read an
don't.
issue for 6 issues,
Just-
so I'm super lost.
Ignore Ian, y'all. Just he. It's a Tom Taylor thing. It'll never happen.
But yeah, no, fair. He would be lost. You really need to read the.
Oh, you have to go from start. Yeah, you have to go from the start to finish. Because
Well, when it's in trade, I can get it from the library.
although I'm going to just put this out there right now. Issue 12 is not out yet, so I have no. The deal has no leaks or anything about what's going to happen. However, if Bruce doesn't end up being king by the end of issue 12, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed because he's technically the rightful ruler, being the son of Martha
Is he
Wayne.
the oldest son though?
He's the first son of Martha.
Hmm.
Martha and Thomas was king and queen. He's the only child of Martha, even though Thomas did not have a child, but Martha did. So therefore, by blood, he should be king.
Poison Ivy, number 13.
I hate this book. I hate this book. I hate this book.
Do you hate this book or you hate this issue?
So I gave it a neutral, and I had some. Oh, I gave it a neutral because the Killer Croc interaction was delightful. I love Killer Croc. He is almost impossible to disappoint me. So I gave it a neutral for Killer Croc, but the amount of artists that were in this book gave me whiplash. And then I hate Ivy and whatever. At least she's out to like destroy Lex Luthor's life, which I guess is a thing I can get behind. But I just, this book. Neutral.
I gave it a neutral as well, and what saved it from being a thumbs down are 2 things. Gillian March.
That's the 2 things, right?
No, I'm not going to say it was both of those things. But also Killer Croc. You know, I have loved the idea of Croc having this redemption story that has not been retconned yet. And it has lasted through Gotham City Monsters and everything. Croc's redemption story is the story I wanted to see continue with Clayface that we didn't get and weren't allowed to keep now that they've turned him evil again. But I love Croc and in his role as, he is a true anti-hero. He will be good when he needs to, but he will also eat a couple of folks just for the hell of it if he has to. But those were the two things that made it a neutral. What really killed it, 2 words. Kelly Jones.
So I did not actually read this, but I did look at all the pages because Steph told me there's 4 different artists. And the artists are Marcio Takara, who's the regular artist for the issue, Gia March, Kelly Jones, and some dude I'd never heard of before. And the thing is, none of these artists fit together at all.
Oh, it was chaos.
At all. And I like Marcio Takara and Guillaume March a lot. And Guillaume March is just as horny as he has always been. And I think that is hilarious that he's still doing that.
Gosh.
But none of these people fit together. They do not belong drawing the same book.
Like, you turn the page and you think you're reading a different book. It was crazy.
And
it's like, nope, this is just the next scene in the story.
And you know, usually when you have different artists in a book, they have a specific role. One's doing a flashback, the other's in the present. This one may be doing a separate flashback. But the second one is still doing the present. The third may be doing a third flashback. But that second person is still in the present.
Nope.
Just crazy.
Yeah, that's a mess. And if this is what's going to happen when DC turns a miniseries into an ongoing, that's not good. Editorial needs to stop failing right there. The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 9.
Abstain.
Oh God, thumbs down. And that backup story. The
backups on this run have been absolutely awful. That has never changed.
Oh God, the idea of Jim Gordon being Jokerized and looking the way he looked on that last page, just if this wasn't my own personal tablet, I probably would have broken it by throwing it against the wall.
This gets a neutral mostly because Ravager is back hanging out with Jason and she called Steph cute. So, and Carmine Di Giandomenico's art is still really great.
Carmine Di Giandomenico.
That being said, this is a mediocre title, and I kind of wish it didn't exist. Or if it did, it was actually just in a Red Hood story. Speaking of the Joker, so DC's decided that a good way to publish extra books is reprints, not just of past stories, but of covers. So this is a collection of covers for the Joker.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even look at it. I didn't care. I saw the cover and I was like, I don't care what this book is about. I am not reading it.
It's not about anything. It's just the covers.
No, there's a story built in.
Wait, really? Is it like that Dark Knight Lee Bermejo thing?
No. It's actually Joker telling a story, and at the end of it, he basically says, well, I'm going to let you go this time. However, he's telling the story while you're flipping through these covers. And after a certain few pages, he's kind of explaining things about what this cover might be about. And then at the end, like I say, he lets you, the reader, go and survive. But, I mean, I guess they got enough backlash from the Lee Bermejo Batman thing that they mixed it up a little bit by adding a few pages of actual dialogue in between. However, I just want to put it out there that if this is the same thing they're doing for Poison Ivy and Catwoman in August, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is clearly a naked cash grab. And speaking of naked cash grabs, this makes me very interested to see what Nord's swimsuit illustrated is going to be like.
It's going to be no. It's going to be uncovered with all the swimsuit issues, and it may have, just like this, a few pages of dialogue mixed in. But all it's going to be is going to be the swimsuit cut variants from the last few years.
Yeah, I just think that's kind of, I just think that's a cash grab.
Yeah, although
I guess they're I mean, it would make sense if people who collect for the covers would like to have. I don't know. Maybe people aren't collecting for the covers quite as much anymore.
But there's a way you do that, and there's a way they've done that. I mean, I have
Usually they
spent.
put them in the trades.
Well, no, I have bought. So, like the last one I bought was the Art Germ poster book, more or less, and it was all of Art Germ variant covers from DC over the last year or so. Absolutely beautiful. It was worth every penny. And they made it to where if you actually wanted to tear the pages out and frame them, you could, because they were perforated. You could do stuff like that and put it on premium paper, sell it at a premium cost. I'm there for it. I'm not there for this. So wait, did I get my thumbs down already? Yeah, thumbs down. I didn't.
I don't think any of us really rated it.
I'm abstaining. So,
Yeah.
Spirit World number 2. And I'm only doing this if Theo's reading it. If Theo stops reading it, this book is going away.
Abstain. I didn't read it.
I'm going to give it a neutral. So there's a lot going on. I am wondering if they are establishing a love interest for Cass with, I'm going to say Popo.
I think it's Xanthi?
No, Xanthi is the main character. No. So right now, Xanthi and Constantine are in the main world. They're in the living world, and they're actually trying to make their way back to the spirit world. Cass is already in the spirit world with a bunch of folk, and spoilers, it's revealed that at some point in time she died and she didn't know it.
I mean, in her Batgirl run, she died twice.
So she died. Well,
Cass or Steph?
Cass.
But she doesn't know it. So it's revealed to her that she died. And so, people in the spirit world knows who she is already. But I'm wondering whether or not they're trying to establish some type of connection between her and the guy that's there. I want to say his name is Popo. P-O-P-O. I'm not going to say poo-poo because that just doesn't sound right. But there's a lot going on. So Xanthi's family realizes who they are. Xanthi actually had a different name before they died as a child. Xanthi died as a child with a different name, but now they're grown or of age. And Xanthi's revealed herself to the family that was her parents, their parents, and the sister that was born after Xanthi died. So there's a lot of conflict there because the family wants Xanthi to be the child that they gave
and you
birth
never, like,
to.
I skimmed through it. You don't know the name of the kid, right? Every time
you don't know
say
the kid,
name,
right? It's
scribbled out.
It's scribbled out because in Xanthi's eyes, they're not that person anymore. And so because they're not that person, they're not revealing that name in the dialogue. So there's conflict with that because mom wants Xanthi to be this person. When they refer to Xanthi, they don't call Xanthi that. They call Xanthi whatever this name is. So there's that conflict, and then there's the conflict with Cass and the individuals in the spirit world. Cass is still trying to figure a way out. There's a monster that's coming after them, and now Cass finds out, oh, I know who you are because you died before. And so there's going to be this conflict of Cass trying to figure out, well, how did this happen? But it is a neutral for me. The art is okay. I think what they're trying to do, at least with the art, looks almost along the same lines of Batman Ninja with that anime style.
Like a manga style?
Yeah, with a manga style in it. So there's some of that built in. The colors are beautiful. I will give it that. But there's just a lot going on right now. I am holding on because again, there is a cast story in there, but you have to get through the Xanthi stuff as well.
Well, I continue to abstain from this book after the first issue. And we're going to end with Batman Incorporated, number 9.
Thumbs up. It's so exciting. There's Joker Incorporated and there's the what's it called? Mandate to kill all Joker Incorporated people. Forget what Batman said. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's a thumbs up for me too. When I was putting my review together for the site, it really had me thinking, because the idea of having Batman kill or trying to force Batman to kill is as old as Batman himself, more or less. That has always been there and Batman has always resisted. However, we're getting a new concept now where the temptation not necessarily the temptation, but the requirement that in order to save everyone, you have to kill is really interesting, considering the fact that you have several folk on the team who don't mind killing, particularly Ghostmaker. And the notion that, wait, I gotta kill? Okay, yeah, and he's basically saying, hey, forget what you promised Batman. You need to do this. The person's dead anyway. There's no way you could save him. So you need to save everybody else, and the only way you could do that, take him out. And Wingman's okay with it. He's like, I get to kill? Cool, I'm on it. And Dark Ranger's like, no, I can't let you do that. I can't let you do that. And in the end, he gets Wingman killed for it. Or at least you think he's killed, because it's kind of hard to survive when you're impaled on a sword. But
it's comics. You could do it.
Yep, you can do it. But it's real interesting to see this idea play out with individuals who do not have Bruce's commitment to life. Again, Ghostmaker's promise is only as strong as Joker's testing him with, and it's quite clear now he's willing to throw it away. He has no problems throwing it away. It is interesting to see who else on the team will feel the same way. I wonder if Clown Hunter still has a little bit of that in him. So that is going to be fun to see. The only thing I was not crazy about, we didn't get a follow-up to Grey Wolf and Knight. I wanted to see more of that flirtation with those two play out. But
they're solving the crime together.
Right. But, I wanted them to have dinner at the bar again. And we got time.
It can't be all fun and no play. I mean, it can't be all play and no work.
I got it. I'm okay. Still, thumbs up.
Thumbs up for me too. This title is consistently a delight. John Timms on art. Oh my goodness. The detail and energy and appeal of the art is off the charts.
Oh, okay. I gotta ask. Did anybody see Dick Grayson in Chorus Call? The one that stabbed Wingman?
No.
You did not see... I see Nightwing. I see like an evil Nightwing in that character.
I guess I could see that. I just wasn't... I didn't make a connection when I was reading it. I can sort of see what you're saying, but it didn't occur to me while I was reading. But I love this art. Like, it's so textured. You can see like the unshaven faces under makeup, and the details of the costumes and the tech that's used is so rich in detail. And yet it's also clear. Like, sometimes an art can be really detailed, but it feels muddy and it makes my eyes hurt trying to figure out what's important. But John Timms makes everything clear and easy to follow with your eyes, but you can just spend time on the pages because there's so much detail and it's so rewarding. And Ed Brisson continues to write really compelling characters and dilemmas. Like, this is a great Batman Inc. type story. And he's doing a really good job of balancing all the characters. I kind of wish he was going with a more rotating thing, but that's the kind of thing you do when you know you've got more time. And I don't know if he knows how much time he has.
And Ian must have read my review. Thank you, Ian. But that's kind of what I mentioned as well. That I enjoy the fact that with the team, you're able to get a focus on each of them, even though they're split up and they're different parts of the world. You're able to get a fair equal amount of each of them. If there is one downside, if there is one, and it's very minor to me because again, we're still getting a good story with all of the members, is we're kind of forgotten about the local teams. I don't know if we, the local members of Batman Inc. And I don't know if we're gonna get to that at some point in time. But I really like the idea of, instead of having an issue focus on each member or group of members, that each issue we're getting a little bit of them all.
I miss
So,
Bao. I wish we knew what was happening with Bao.
From what standpoint? I mean, other than
he will come back. I know he will.
Wait, what did I miss? Bao was.
Oh, right. He left because he's mad, right?
Yeah, because Clown Hunter was. He thinks that Clown Hunter will just sacrifice him like he sacrificed Phantom 1.
No, Bao was with. With Jiro. They were chasing down. Yeah, they were chasing.
He's still mad at. Like, he still
has issues with Clown Hunt. He still has issues with Ghostmaker, but he's still on the team because he and Jiro were chasing down.
I must not have noticed him.
Yeah, they were chasing down the one that shot. Oh, please don't say he's dead. The clown that shot Manobats.
So, Batman Inc. continues to be a good story, and you guys should all read it.
Oh, and Webtoons continues to be really great.
Yeah, Zatanna actually just wrapped up, and it had an interesting conclusion. I'm still not the biggest fan of that comic, but for Zatanna fans, I'm sure it was really fun, and Constantine fans too.
I haven't read it in a while. I need to get back to it.
I just got back on because I saw it was ending, so I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll find out how it ends." Vixen is ending in 3 weeks, and Red Hood is still not listed as ending, so that one must be doing a bit better.
Are they doing another season of Vixen, or are they calling it quits?
They're calling it series finale, so...
I really liked Vixen.
It's a good story.
Oh, yes. Ollies, if you have an Ollies nearby, I just got one right before COVID, so that was fun. But if you have an Ollies, they're doing $3.99 trades. DC and Marvel trades for $3.99. You should go check it out.
Where are they doing this?
At Ollie's. It's a...
Ian's up north. They may not be around there.
Well, we just got one. They're not really a southern thing.
Oh, yes, they are.
Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
Oh, yeah, they're all... Let me see. They're all over Mississippi and Alabama. There's 1, 2, 3... There may be 5. There's 5 that I know of in Louisiana. Yeah, there.
Are you in Minnesota? You've got none. But there's one in Chicago, and Schaumburg, and Rockford, and Peoria, and
Ollie's is like a Big Lots.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like a Big Lots for crappier crap.
But they do comic books. They do a ton of comic books, and you put them all in wrappers, so you won't find any valuable stuff. But if you just going to pick up stuff to read, it's a nice little haven for you to get some cheap
I
stuff.
picked up all three Batman Incorporated. Not Batman Incorporated. Batman Forever's, I think. No, yeah, was that right?
Eternal.
Eternal. That's what I said. Batman Eternal.
Okay. Since Batman Eternal is Stephanie Brown's New 52 origin, I approve wholeheartedly. Also, some of the best Jason Fabok art ever.
They're doing an omnibus for Batman and Robin. I just realized that.
The Tomasi run or the Eternal run?
Eternal. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I wonder if they'll have cool special features like the Batman Eternal omnibus did.
I don't know. It'll definitely be smaller since it was only half a year.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So let's get to our Bat fan appreciation. Thank you to the following people who have contributed to our Patreon at a specific level. Thank you to Lisa Slack, Donovan Morgan Grant, Austin Davis, Ian Miller, Stanton Grave, Johnny McCloskey, Gerald Green, Donald Townsend, Cesar Diaz, Joshua Lappin Bertoni, Ed Grouse, Jessica Morales, Rob O, Captain America, David Richards, Tim Garassi, Mary Garrett, Robert Lewis, and Stephanie Mouse. Thank you all for helping keep our servers up and all our episodes available for you to binge and download for car rides and all those great things. Hope to see you guys in our Discord or in our YouTube comments and letting us know what you're liking, what you'd like to see. And until that time, this has been Ian.
This is Dev.
And this is Theo.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. All right.
For a split second, I thought I hadn't hit record on Audacity. Or on OBS.
Oh my God.
Why would you give me this heart attack?
Oh my God, that would have
I'm the
been.
one who had a heart attack.
And this is an exciting... Oh, I'm excited. So Batman 136, the main story, is written by Chip Zdarsky, and we have a guest artist, Balin Ortega.
Wait, hold on. Was there a backup for this story?
There is.
Oh. I didn't read that. I think go to Tom King's website.
Okay, we're going to take a little hiatus.
But you know what? You may have read it and didn't realize you were reading it because it was kind of along the same line.
No, I didn't. I thought it ended.
So you got to keep going from the fire page.
No, I didn't go past the fire page. Okay, okay. All right, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay, so